Welcome back to Cape Town, South Africa, where we've been before, departing today on an all-new one for me and new one for the channel. We're on CemAir's CRJ-900 today. That's going to be the first time we do a CRJ jump seat on the channel, and like I mentioned, it's a first for me too. I've flown on many of these, but always as a passenger. Always interesting to try out a new one, see how the jump seat works. They're all different. And also CemAir, not an airline I've flown before, and interesting to see how they operate, meet some of their people. As usual, whenever I do this kind of thing, the crew is super friendly, super hospitable, you know, eager to make it possible to make a cool video about this. And I just love that. It's so nice to be able to showcase what an airline does and some of its people. That's the best part, I think. Getting to meet some of the people that you might not ordinarily get to meet. The pilots, of course. Always fun on a CRJ. We're going over to Johannesburg, roughly a 2-hour flight as I recall, and then coming right back. So should be a cool one. A full morning of CRJ flying. Let's do it.
Operation of the jump seat, you can see here's a little latch at the back. It needs to be down before you take it out. So to take it out, you just pull it, then lock it in here, and then if you want to put it back in, you just push this red tab here back, and you pull it out again. Okay. Your oxygen mask, if we were to have a decompression, you push these two tabs together, pull it out, don it back to front, and then 100%, and you just follow them as well. The instructions. All good.
Morning guys, welcome to our Joburg and then back to Cape Town today. Everyone's licenses, medicals, CRM, dangerous goods, you've got all your valid certificates with you, eh? Good stuff. Alright, on the first sector we're looking at about 1 hour 50 flying time. We'll be flying at 37,000 feet to Johannesburg. 42 passengers expected at the moment. Okay. Weather in Johannesburg, we're not expecting too much of an issue there. Runway 21's in use, so maybe a bit of a delay. We've got to fly towards Pretoria and then come back down the other side. Okay. Coming back then, also 1 hour 50, 36,000 feet, and we're looking at about 65 passengers. En route conditions, we're not expecting any bumps. If we put the seatbelt signs on, that means you do your normal PA. If we want you guys to sit down, I'll actually call you and say, hey, listen, it doesn't look so good. We want you guys to sit down, please. So, because otherwise, you know, we've just put it on for a quick little bump and you guys got to pack everything away and then get everything out again. So if we see something significant, I'll give you a shout, say, listen, we're going to put the belts on in about 5 minutes. When I put the belts on, I want you guys to sit down as well. If at any stage you feel, whoa, this is really bumpy, sit down, just let us know that you're sitting down. Okay, be as proactive as possible. Any problems with passengers, catering, potable water, anything like that, just let us know earlier rather than later. The weather here in Cape Town is improving, so I don't think we're going to be delayed. We shouldn't have too much issue with that. Magic word for today? Cappuccino. Cappuccino. All right, if you call us and say, can I bring you those cappuccinos? We know there's something going on in the back here. Okay, don't forget to have fun. All right, cool, thank you. Okay, so we are parked at Bravo 15. We'll push back, we'll face in a northerly direction, and we'll make our way crossing 16 to the holding point of runway 19. Peter, everywhere's a hot spot. Okay, if we're not happy, we stop the aeroplane, we say in, hey, what do you want us to do? And we only go again when we're 100% happy with what the instructions are. You've flown with me before, you know, I expect you to speak up, okay? You speak up, we discuss it over a beer afterwards once we've sorted the problem out. All right. In the event of it being an evacuation, I will tell you that we're evacuating the aeroplane. I'll go manual disarm, shut the engines down, do the evacuation PA, hit that button, that button, that button. Your actions, please.
Advise ATC of the evacuation, fuel on board, sails on board, any dangerous goods and pets, emergency depress, and emergency lights on, and standing by for your battery.
Our MSA going out here is so level 90 to the left of our intended track. With the weather here today, basically get to flat retraction speed, keep that speed there until we're above MSA and then speed up. All right. Takeoff mass limit 37995. Runway 19, green, dry. Flaps 8, off, open, armed, yes. We have 3,544 meters available. We require 2,433 meters. Our flex is 49, which should give us 84.4, 84.3. That's close enough for amateurs, and that gives us 3.86, so that's good enough there. Speeds 136, 137, 144, 191. And we are straight ahead to 1,200 feet, which is set.
Checks, can I break the speed?
Yes, please. Speed bucket at 145, 136 I see. Okay guys, passengers boarding. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, a very good morning to all of you. Welcome aboard this CemAir flight, which is Johannesburg bound. My name is Boyd Fickard. It's my privilege and pleasure to be the captain of today's flight.
Good morning, CemAir 839, Bravo 15, request push and start, and it will be full length this morning. CemAir 839.
CemAir 839, good morning, stand by for the push and start, traffic in the lane to pass behind.
CemAir 839.
Okay. Marius, we are going to start engine number 1. Confirm number 1 is clear?
Clear.
Okay, starting 1.
Taxi Alpha cross runway 16 to the Cat 2 hold runway 19, CemAir 839.
Clear left side.
Clear on the right. Cabin is secure.
Excellent, thank you. No change on 1, you've got 1.
CemAir 839 behind the Embraer 3 miles final, line up and wait runway 19 and select behind, confirm traffic inside.
We do have the traffic inside, behind the aircraft on find approach, enter and line up runway 19, full length behind CemAir 839.
Taxi 188 may continue to Alpha 2.
Stop bars are off.
Check.
And we'll line up and wait behind the landing. Final approach is clear.
Checks, aeroplane landing on the right,
Check.
clear to line up.
Before takeoff checklist down to the line, please.
Before takeoff checklist, BTMS,
Checked.
cabin crew,
Advised.
fuel cross flow,
Manual off.
ignition and anti-ice,
Off.
gas,
Checked.
cleared, toga,
Takeoff.
transponder number 1 out on, checklist to the line.
Check, thank you. Below the line, please.
Below the line, lights,
on,
takeoff clearance,
Obtained. Config OK.
before takeoff checklist completed,
Check.
winds on the right, check.
Thank you.
Twin is stable,
Set thrust.
thrust set. knots.
Check.
V1, rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up to speed mode.
Speed mode.
Okay, that's approaching MSA.
Check, happy with terrain.
250 knots set. Check. So far so good.
Also support. Yeah.
Good job, well done, thanks.
Yeah.
So the CRJ doesn't have auto thrust. So this is the auto thrust.
The lack of auto thrust across all CRJs.
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, they just never came out with them, and I don't even know if there's a retrofit for them, but you can imagine that would be very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how quickly, you know, I joined South African Airways in 1995. Before that, the Dash 8s they don't have auto thrust. So from 1995 until 2020, I had auto thrust. Incredible how quickly you get used to the fact that you've got to do this all the time. Yeah, you get used to it very quickly.
Right. Are there any other key differences between the 200 and the 900 in terms of experience?
The 200 obviously came out first, and then they sort of like defined in the 900. So this has got FedEx, which the 200 hasn't. So the 200 end up with, you know, the levers not being the same kind of thing. Yeah, as long as the levers are more or less the same, the FedEx will have, whereas on the 200 you're continually tweaking it all the time.
Right.
And then when it goes by about 0.2 or 0.3 out, it's a bit like a proper wow wow. You can actually hear it in the back when you sit there as a passenger. So we try and keep them on the 100, 200 as the same kind of thing. The FedEx does that for us on this one, so that's a big one. And then the biggest thing is the whole bleed system on the 900.
Yeah.
Is far superior to the one on the 200 and the 100. Swaps the bleed from the APU to the engines, and that all automatically here.
Right.
Whereas on the 200 we've got to do it ourselves, kind of thing. And it's actually the thing when you come onto the airplane, you struggle with that the most. But this is a much more automated system. And then of course it's much quicker. We cruise at 0.80 as opposed to 0.74, 0.72 in the 100, 200. Yeah. But the main things they put is the FedEx and the bleeds.
Yeah.
The approach angles are a bit different because the 200 doesn't have leading edge slats.
Yeah.
So you are really nose down on the approach, where this one with the slats, your nose attitude is much higher.
Right.
But you get used to that very.
Yeah.
From a feel point of view, the cockpit is pretty much identical. It's just the bleeds that you have to remember what airplane you are flying today.
And then the landings are quite different because of that that nose attitude. So hold on to your seat for my landing, because I landed at 200 yesterday. So what generally happens is when you've flown the 200 and then you fly this, you normally crash it in. And then when you've been flying this and you fly the 200, you flare too early and you've got to get down kind of thing.
Okay, copy.
So that's flying wise, that's the big difference, is the landing.
You know what these holes are for? It's where you place your bets for the landing. There's always some money lying here, and you prefer to have it on the first officer's side, you know. Good morning, CMA 839, final approach on the ILS on the 039.
CMA 839 at the wind is swinging into a tailwind, that's over 270 degrees, 14 knots, runway J3 right, clear to land, advise
Continuing the approach for runway 03 right, you happy with the wind?
We'll get a one on short finals.
Yeah. Wind check on the short finals for CMA 839.
270 degrees, 14 knots now.
Okay, we need it below 10, eh? So if it's above 10 when we get to
1,000.
So at
it's 270 at 14. So it's directly from the west.
it's 270,
yeah.
Right. Okay, no, well, that's
not
fine.
a problem. Yeah.
That's no problem. Okay, before landing checklist, please.
Before landing checklist, gear.
Down.
Thrust reversers.
Armed.
Cabin crew is advised, ignition anti-ice off, flaps.
45
CMA
indicated.
839, if you are able, you are clear to land runway J3 right, over 270 degrees, 12 knots.
Before landing checklist completed, we are able, clear to land runway 03 right, CMA 839.
Turkish 21 Yankee.
Okay.
Checklist out of the way, we are
problem.
clear to land. That was 1,000 approach stable.
Check. Okay, and I'm disconnecting the autopilot.
400.
Wind is from the left.
Approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Aircraft test associated.
Check.
Alright, that was great fun. Up to Johannesburg now. Time to turn around. Quick turnaround here. Back to Cape Town.
Julie Sierra Charlie Mike Mike, we're at Charlie 20. And we request clearance for a flight to Cape Town, level 340 is on request.
CemAir 842, dismissing Cape Town, flight level 340 on request, after departure runway 21 right, now standard, maintain runway heading from to 8,000 feet, select of request 14.5
Thank you, clear Johannesburg to Cape Town, level 340 is on request, after departure runway 21 right, non-standard, maintain the runway track line to 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.5, squawk 3574, CemAir 842.
7842, request correct. Sea Charter 0841, the photo ready.
Are you ready? CemAir 842.
CemAir 842 is ready and turn.
CemAir 842, contact tower 118.1 at the Quebec holding point, good day.
At Quebec, 118.1, good day, CemAir 842.
Runway 663 ready. Center correct landing 150 Charlie, cheers.
Thanks, and to you, cheers.
Tower, good morning, CemAir 842 is ready and turn, Quebec.
CemAir 842.
CemAir 842, line up and wait runway 21 right, Quebec.
Line up, wait runway 21 right, Quebec, CemAir 842.
Okay.
Land 21 left, Zulu Sierra Yankee Alpha Hotel, box
2 engine stable.
Check thrust.
Thank you.
Approach 21 left. Target morning link 110 Lima, radius frequency.
Link 110 Lima, Island.
V1, rotate.
Wait runway 21 right, Alpha.
Frequency FA, line up to 81 right, Alpha, link 110 Lima.
Positive climb.
Gear up, speed mode.
Gear up. Speed mode.
CemAir 842, morning, great for
Good morning to you. Chocks off at 0830, airborne 0845. There was congestion at the holding point. We're estimating Cape Town at 1040, and we have 80 passengers on board.
Happy thanks, bye-bye.
Thank you. On our chart, ISA plus 15, to go up to 36, we've got a max weight of 36,200. So we're basically a ton below that at the moment, or 1,000, yeah, a ton below that at the moment. But bearing in mind that these graphs are for brand new airplanes, brand new engines and that. So we sort of like, when we full like we are now, which is a lot more comfortable at level 340, 34,000 feet. What actually happens, we'll get to 36 and then we'll sit there and we'll stay with climb thrust for ages because she'll really struggle to accelerate. Whereas if we just give her a little bit of breathing space, we go to 34,000, she'll still be slow, but she'll accelerate to 0.80, to Mach 0.80, and then we can come back out of the climb thrust setting.
Right, gotcha.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Because all of these charts and that, you know, they're all for new aeroplanes and, you know, new engines and that. As you know, these aeroplanes are all, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's what that was there. The other thing as well today is, because it's weekend and the weather's not great up and down the coast, we've taken fuel for Port Elizabeth, which is a lot further than we normally do. We normally take fuel for George.
Right.
So we are heavier, because normally we'd say, yeah, 36,000, no problem, even with 90 passengers. But we're carrying a lot of extra fuel because of the weather conditions down on the coast as well. So she'll be happy at 34,000. there we are there. We're going to make our way to Cape Town. And George is over here. And that's what we normally use for the fuel. But because of the weather conditions here, we're actually taking fuel from Port Elizabeth.
Right.
So it makes us heavier than we usually would be on this sector now.
Confirm Cape Town International Airport information like on first contact 0925. Expect zone DMC. Runway 19 for arrival and departure. Transition level 90. Wind 190 degrees. 5 knots varying between 150 and 230 degrees. Cover OK. Temperature 25. Dew point 15. QNH 1012.
The CRJ-900s and 200s, Gabriel, they slow down very easily. This aeroplane is very, very slippery. Speed control is sort of like the biggest issue for us. And particularly going into Joburg where the elevation is 5,500 feet. And the air is just so much thinner than it is down at the coast. We've got to be really careful in this aeroplane to control our speed, because to slow it down is very difficult.
What is it that makes the difference there? Why is this one so much more than the...
Well, it flies so much faster already. It's got bigger engines, so it flies so much faster. It's got a very, very clean wing. And when you close the thrust, it just does not slow down.
Yeah.
The 100s, 200s, they slow down. You close the thrust, the airplane starts slowing down. And also when you use the flight spoilers, which speed brakes in other airplane terms, the 100, 200s flight spoilers are actually quite effective.
Okay.
But the flight spoilers in this airplane also don't help that much. Yeah, you've just got to be careful and just manage your speed pretty carefully. You'll find the guys on the in my case, I mean, on the 100, 200, I'll go balls to the wall kind of thing, because I know I can slow it down. And then this one, I'm a lot more cautious and a lot more conservative in my descent planning and that. If we were in a 200 now, we'd have a descent angle of 3.5 degrees. With this aeroplane, Peter's changed it to 3, just so that it's not as steep, and
Right.
it just makes it a little easier to slow down, control the speed. The Airbus A330 is the other aeroplane that I flew that was also very, very slippery. But when you use the speed brakes on that, it slowed down. It really slowed down nicely.
She's pretty effective at high speed, but any 250 to 220, this
Yeah.
changes your facial expression more than anything else.
Yeah.
Not that effective.
Yeah. Copy, no speeds for CemAir 842, thank you. Descent level 160, Charlie Tango 410, thank you, CemAir 842.
160,
Check.
we can go direct to Charlie Tango 410. Confirm.
Execute.
Execute. Okay,
1,000 feet to level off.
okay.
Romeo Tango Golf,
Disconnecting.
climb 1,500 feet, routine. Still in boss reports and outbound.
Climbing
You can set 400 feet for me, please.
Outbound next, Romeo Tango Golf.
Sorry if I can...
400 feet.
I'll tell you, I'll set Mr. Approach altitude and you can just fly it from here.
45.
Yeah.
Mr. Approach altitude, set. Thank you. You can
Okay.
set runway heading for me, please.
Okay, runway heading, you still on white needles.
Okay. And flight director off, please.
Okay, 191, flight director's off.
Okay.
Before landing checklist, gear,
Down.
down. Thrust reversers,
Armed.
armed. Cabin crew advised ignition anti-ice is off, down to the line.
2,500.
That checks.
CemAir 842, runway 19, clear to land, leads up between 180 degrees, 7 knots.
Thank you, clear to land 19, CemAir 842.
Copy, clear to
Romeo
land.
Tango Golf, shortly leaving the zone, broadcast and Tila, good day.
Broadcasting and Tila, thank you very much and enjoy the afternoon. Tango.
Complete the before landing checklist.
Before landing checklist below the line. Flaps,
45 indicating.
45 indicating. Before landing checklist completed. You are clear to land.
Copy, clear to land.
200. Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Next one to the right is John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, bye.
All right, a really quick but fun round trip up to Johannesburg and back to Cape Town with a great flight crew, great cabin crew, really nice first experience on CemAir and in the CRJ-900 flight deck. Learned some interesting things, had a nice chat or two, and saw some nice sights. So now we're back in Cape Town, and that marks the end of this African adventure, and looking forward to hopefully coming back soon as possible for more. I just can't get enough here. And I've done a lot of flight decks at this point. The CRJ and the ERJ were new on this trip. In case you haven't seen the other flights from this trip through South Africa and Namibia, I'll be sure to put all the links down below. And if you've watched a few of these now, I'm curious which one has been your favorite of the flight deck videos. Those are obviously the ones that people get really interested in, and I'm always curious to know which ones stand out for people. And what other aircraft would you like to see? I haven't done them all yet. Let me know if there's a request. Something else I can try to do. I'm always trying to do all of them, of course, but you can prioritize one or the other if a bunch of you say you really want to see it. So thanks for hanging out in the cockpit with me, as always, and from Cape Town, South Africa. I'm Gabriel Lee for Flight Radar 24. Forgot to say that part.